Hi everyone, so I started off with this little house that I got from Hobbycraft last year, something that I never got round to making. And it's one of those that just like clips together, but I didn't like the look of the chunks of wood sticking out the front. So what I did was I cut those off and then glued the house together itself. I wanted to turn this into a little spooky house. So I just trimmed off the wood so it was nice and flush against the surface of the house. And once I trimmed it down, I then used some hot glue to fill in the holes and just smoothed that down with the glue gun. This was to make sure that A, it was glued together, and B, just to fill in those gaps so I could have a solid front to the building instead of having these weird chunks sticking out. And as you can see, I'm just using a spare glue stick just to smooth that down and peeling off any excess that's on the surface that I don't want. And then I used the hot glue to add texture to the surface of the house all the way around. And I also used it to add door frames and window frames to the house as well. It's just a nice quick way of adding that detail without having to fiddle around with lots of tiny little bits of wood. As you can see, it's quite easy just to create a little door frame by just drawing with the hot glue around all the windows and doors. And once I did that to all four sides, I then cut up some coffee stirrers to add shingles to the roof. And obviously I did these all funny lengths and did them different shapes because I want this to look really battered and old. And as you can see, I start at the bottom and just keep layering them until I get all the way to the top. It's just a nice, quick, easy way of adding shingles, and the coffee stirrers were the right size for this project. And then I wanted to turn this into like a spooky witch's tree house. So I got some sticks out of the garden and glued the house to the sticks. This was the fiddliest bit because the sticks were fairly fresh. So it was having to hold the sticks in place and bend them while holding everything together with the glue. It took a few goes, but I got there in the end. And you'll see later on that I used other sticks to reinforce how it's attached to the bigger twigs, and then glued more twigs around to make it look more like a tree. I wanted it to look like a bare tree because, like, you know, as winter and obviously, you know, Halloween time sort of thing, so I wanted it to have no leaves on. And later on I'll spray paint everything to make the colours more uniform. But as you can see, all I'm doing here is gluing it to the tray that I've made and adding more bits of wood here and there for support. And I also, by breaking up some coffee stirrers, I made a little ladder, a keep out sign, and some little support logs for the tree at the bottom. Okay, so I've spray painted this with some black paste spray paint. And I didn't worry too much about the ladder because I'm going to change that. So yeah, this is what it looks like so far. Obviously I'm going to add flocking and stuff to the base, so don't worry about the very obvious hot glue spots. But first of all, what I need to do is dry brush onto the house and the branches. So I'm just using a brush with some white paint on. I'm just doing it where I've rubbed off a lot of the paint. I'm going to use this to pick up the details of the house. It'll just make the textures stand out and show me the details a bit more. So it just makes it stand out a bit better. Anywhere where I've missed with the spray paint, I can touch up later on with some black. I'm using quite a small brush because obviously to get into these little areas can be tricky, because obviously I've got the tree branches in the way. And as you can see, that texture I added with the hot glue just adds to the look of the house. Ooh, a bit too much white paint there, never mind. If you get a bit too much white paint anywhere, you can just go over it again in black to get that more subtle. Oops, sorry, I knocked the camera there. I like dry brushing because it's quite. I like dry brushing because it's quite quick, and it just gets those details to pop really well. And I'm just making sure that the boards and things that I've added stand out as well. Just going to add some more to this side. I'm just going over anywhere where I feel it needs a bit more. I'm going to touch up with a little bit of brown on this bit. Oops. Don't know why that's... I've obviously missed that bit. What I'm doing here now is just here and there putting a little bit of brown and white. And then just to finish off, after dry brushing with white and brown, I've added some flocking for moss and grass. I've added a little skull in the tree and a little hanging twig decoration, and then keep out sign, more grass, and keep out on there. And that's it. That's my spooky witch tree house. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.